90 terabytes of alternative gaming does not represent the views of WWSP, 90 FM, or the University of Wisconsin school system. The views expressed and the information given in this broadcast can be used at the sole risk of the listener.
I mean, let's face it, the opinion of these two guys is about as pristine as Wikipedia. After all, their source is the internet. And now, back to the show. Fight.
Hello, and welcome back to 90 terabytes of alternative gaming here on WWSP Stevens Point. Yes, this is Taylor, the first of the co-hosts of 90 terabytes.
And this is Q.
Yes, and we are a gaming news show, in case you're just tuning in for the second half here.
Yeah,
you heard some C418, right?
Music. What?
I said we just heard some C418, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was like video game music. Yeah, we listened to C418, the guy who makes music for Minecraft. I think he was still playing there, so I don't have my headphones on, so I didn't know if he was still on.
Oops.
Yeah. whatever.
It was a good soundtrack for our show.
Yep. Keep playing it from the bottom if we wanted to. But yeah, we talked about video games. Our opinions are purely our own. They're nobody else's. They don't reflect the radio station you're currently listening to, WWSP 90 FM. UW Board of Regents, UW Stevens Point, UW Madison, Scott Walker,
Bill Clinton,
CIA. I mean, the NSA. Now they know that we're talking
no such
about
agency?
them.
Now that they know we're talking about that.
But yeah, our opinions are purely our own. Taylor and Q, as respected individuals in the video game community. That is us.
Yes, as respected video game players, really. But anywho,
Well, I'm quite respected in the video game.
All right, actually, we're gonna do the Minecraft corner here.
Minecraft corner,
which we have no intro for. Rather than that, we pretty much just talk about needing an intro every time we're going into this.
An intro. So, I mean, if you're out there in the listening world, you can make an intro for us. For Minecraft
you could.
Corner. Yeah.
Or we'll just keep saying we need an intro, and that'll just slowly turn into the intro.
Yeah.
But anywho, we have a couple things to talk about. I say we talk about the stuff that is Minecraft first, and then later we'll talk about just Mojang. But the whole Notch has just been a news font lately. He's just nothing but like a big Source O news with the way he's been acting, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But we got a new screenshot for the next update in Minecraft with a river, which may not seem that crazy, but to have a body of water like that you could possibly set up basically your house around and use for travel is awesome.
Yep, he has stated that he made gigantic oceans, he made gigantic deserts, he made biomes bigger, he added rivers, he's adding towns that will be near the rivers, he added
a lot.
A
giant underground ravines. We've got we got a new leveling system. We got everything. We have like a whole new game coming out with this update.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff.
And still no release date.
It will be here in the next 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks, you did say?
Okay. No, I can guarantee it because they said that they would have the game playable at PAX, and PAX is this weekend.
That would be a very good way to
judge that. Doesn't mean it's out for us to play.
Yes.
But you got Enderman, you got at least one new mob. He said at least one.
I really do hope he gives at least a few boss mobs a shot.
I really hope he doesn't tell us everything he's putting in it.
I really cannot wait for, if that does turn out to be the case, to see how much we don't know, because that's the best part of the updates.
If somehow you're listening, I doubt it. Maybe in the next year you might listen to our show. That'd be really, really cool. But don't tell us everything you're putting in your game. Yes,
because that game, the element of discovery is awesome. Being able to stumble into a cave and suddenly find a giant pillar of glowstone that illuminates a huge underground cavern would be the coolest thing I can imagine. Yeah. But I don't want to know that's going to happen.
I installed the Yogbox, which is a collection of mods, and they put a bunch of mods in there that they created and didn't tell anybody about them. So I'm just walking around, and I see this gigantic pyramid. I'm like, okay.
That's normal.
So I started chiseling into the pyramid, and there was 20 spawners inside, and tons
skeletons just poured out
everywhere. There was chests everywhere inside, but yeah, it was pretty much impossible.
That's awesome.
I was playing it hard, so it didn't really work out that much.
You could have put a water source block at the very top of the pyramid and drowned them out. Just saying.
That would have worked.
Problem solving.
That would have worked.
Problem solving.
Yeah, he's adding tons of new things. Cocoa bean trees, plantable pumpkins, melons, animal breeding, the food meter. All the foods are stackable. There's chicken, raw beef, steak, melons, cooked pork chops have different pictures. Lots of new achievements. Fence gates.
Fence gates, yes. Which I cannot believe it took this long. Though I mean, it took till just the last update, I think, to get stackable fences, which was cool.
Yeah, and you can build walls. You can see through them. Multiplayer server lists. That's a really nice one. Modding support will make it easier to change the max level of the map, so you can make gigantic maps. Yeah. Minecraft, huge.
Absolutely monstrous.
Biggest game of the year.
I'm sure we're going to spend most of an episode talking about that update once it comes out. I mean,
we'll probably have to have a 2-hour episode having 30 people in here talking about
playing
Modern
Minecraft.
Warfare, Battlefield 3, Skyrim, and Minecraft, because they're all coming out in the same week.
It's true. By the way, unless we want to talk more about this update, I say we talk about the scrolls thing real quick, because Notch made a quiz out there for people to prove that they're not confused between the two of them. I got 90%, by the way.
Yeah,
the only thing I got wrong was,
the last one, which said option 1 or option 2. I'm like, option 2?
You said option 2 and got it wrong?
Yeah.
But neither of them are right.
Oh.
I said option 1 and got it wrong.
Well,
So you're
there
literally
we go.
guaranteed to get 9 out of 10 if you know the difference between Scrolls and Elder Scrolls. But it was really funny because he just keeps being like super snarky about this whole thing. He refuses to take this problem seriously.
He
because
says
it's
that,
not a problem.
quote by the Notch man, Marcus Persson.
The top hat, if you will.
Yeah. If we are going to court, I will fight this as long as it takes. It's a bogus claim, and Bethesda has several one-word named games that share a noun with other games that precede its games. So, Notch says both parties' lawyers are currently in discussions. He doesn't know how far along the case is, but when he finds the legalities he finds the legalities terribly boring.
Yes, which is awesome. Also, we said this last week, but he's trying to do this through a Quake 3 tournament.
Yeah.
And then someone did an interview with him, and they were like, you do realize that Bethesda owns id, who made Quake, right? And he goes, perhaps my thinking was a little bit wrong then.
His exact quote is, in retrospect, Quake 3 might have been a poor choice. If it came to Quake 3 tournament, I have a feeling we might just have to change the name, he adds. But the contest would bring a lot of good PR to both parties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which really, I wish Bethesda could think that way, maybe. But I don't. Or
Bethesda's
ZeniMax.
a gigantic
ZeniMax
company,
could.
and ZeniMax Media owns them.
And we already know that apparently the whole thing is literally something that the legal team is supposed to do. It's like one of these things where it's like if they don't use it, they lose it, and so they have to do this. And otherwise, like this situation could be pointed to in the future, and they wouldn't be able to, actually enforce it if someone actually made a game called The Oldest Scrolls or something, where it is a clear ripoff.
Yeah.
But whatever, I still think it's really dumb.
Yeah,
and I'm proud of Notch.
Twitter,
honestly.
so I'm gonna make the Ender Scrolls.
Ender Scrolls.
Yeah, that would be a blatant ripoff.
That would be awesome.
But Mojang is now also expanding to be a third-party publisher, so they are no longer a tiny little developer. They are a publisher of other people's games.
Yes, and the first game is called
Cobalt.
Yes, and it looks kind of like a Flash version of Little Big Planet without multiplayer.
Yeah.
As many changes as that is to Little Big Planet, but
yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like.
It looks very cool. They say, like, when they describe the game,
multiplayer.
they can only describe it as action, they say, and then they describe all the things you can do. There is multiplayer?
Yeah.
Oh, then I lied.
That screenshot looks
So it's kind of
multiplayer
like
to
a Flash-ish version of Little Big Planet. So basically, if you're going to be actually like Little Big Planet and not a ripoff, you're a very creative game. And this game looks incredibly creative. It looks like you go through a lot of very interesting-looking environments. A lot of interesting little gameplay mechanics are probably going to pop up. They said you do all sorts of weird stuff. And Q is very hard laughing. I don't know if are you allowed to read off what you read?
No, I can't read people's comments.
Oh, lame. We're really not allowed to read off comments?
I don't know.
Are we not allowed to say who it is and then read it off?
No, they were just making a joke that Cobalt is an element, and they'll think it has something to do with the periodic table of elements. And